squalid conditions for wounded soldiers at the Army's Premier Hospital drew the first public comments from President Bush today.
This is unacceptable to me. It is unacceptable to our country, and it's not going to continue.
In his weekly radio address, Mr. Bush announced a bipartisan commission to review military medical care from the battlefield to veterans facilities here at home. The Washington Post and NBC Nightly News first reported 2 weeks ago on rooms covered with mold and infested with mice at Walter Reed's Building 18 and the bureaucratic red tape facing outpatients staying there. Since then, Defense Secretary Robert Gates has moved aggressively, firing Major General George Waitman, the commander of Walter Reed, and just yesterday, Army Secretary Francis Harvey.
Some have shown too much defensiveness and have not shown enough focus on digging into and addressing the problems.
The administration is desperate to defuse angry veterans groups among the last remaining strong backers of the Iraq War. They say the Pentagon's health care system can't cope with the large number of wounded.
And when they don't admit it, the only person it hurts is the veterans or the soldiers trying to access care.
Dana Priest, one of the Washington Post reporters who broke the story, says the scandal may increase opposition to the war itself.
I think this is providing an opening for people to say, wait a minute, if we aren't doing the best by the troops, then bring them home.
And on Capitol Hill, it's providing more ammunition to those already opposed to the war.
I think America should look at what's happened at Walter Reed with both shame and sorrow.
President Bush can expect a lot more rhetoric like that next week when Walter Reed will be the focus of 2 congressional hearings. John?
NBC's John Yang at the White House tonight. John, thank you. In Iraq today, word that 3 more American soldiers were killed on patrol in central Baghdad when a roadside bomb exploded next to their vehicle. That type of explosion is all too familiar to the military medical teams working to save lives in Iraq. NBC's chief science correspondent, Robert Bazell, continues his series, Wounds of War, tonight with a look at some of the hidden effects of all those bomb blasts.
IED blasts have a supposedly non-penetrating wound to the head.
At the combat hospitals in Iraq, the vast majority of the injuries are from roadside bombs, IEDs.
He had some penetrating injury to his right head.
1, 2, 3.
Troops who are seriously injured receive immediate care and are usually sent to Germany or the United States in a matter of days. And Marines are just knocked unconscious by an IED blast and suffer no other obvious injury.
Any pain in your eyes? No. Okay. I don't think we did any blurriness. Negative. No. Okay.
And often it happens again and again. Private Menaheim Begin.
How many IEDs have you taken personally?
5.
This is your 5th time?
Yes.
So you're getting kind of used to this?
No, can't get used to. Which scrape up? Rolling from the Humvee.
After a day of observation in the hospital, Private Begin and a companion, Private Justin Fletcher, who had just encountered his 2nd IED, were returned to duty. Dr. Philip Cuenca, an anesthesiologist, says this is routine procedure.
Usually the soldier wants to get back to his unit, but the commander has to meet the mission. And so if that soldier can still walk and carry out orders and is physically able, it's certainly reasonable for him or her to return to duty.
But many experts, including Dr. Cuenca, worry about long-term subtle brain damage from exposure to so many explosions. Colonel Alan Bruns, the chief Army surgical advisor for the Iraqi theater, says the military worries too.
We want safety not only for our soldiers who are experienced with IEDs, but for their peers as well. And it doesn't help their peers to have a comrade come back who has been sort of dazed by an IED. We want to make sure that they're getting taken care of properly.
So this is a patient who suffered an IED blast.
But many experts are concerned those long-term effects, like memory loss and sudden emotional changes, can be very hard to diagnose at first.
They can still do all the basic things that you or I can do, but they just have subtle neurological signs that are difficult to tell if it's due to just fatigue, stress, or a headache like you or I may have.
And for now, the military has no sense how widespread the problem may be.
He's following commands, he's moving all of his extremities.
Robert Bazell, NBC News, Baghdad.